The security guard's radio crackled as he stepped in front of Marcus Johnson's beat-up Honda. "Sir, this is private property," he said, eyeing the exhausted man and the small boy sleeping in the back seat. Marcus clutched a worn envelope in his trembling hands, his last hope. What happened in the next 17 minutes would change the lives of everyone behind those mansion gates forever. If you're moved by stories of justice, redemption, and the lengths a parent will go for their child, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more powerful true stories like Marcus's to light. Marcus Johnson adjusted his only tie in the rearview mirror, the fabric frayed at the edges from years of use. His son Elijah slept peacefully in the car seat behind him, unaware that their entire future hinged on this meeting. The 5-year-old's glasses were held together with tape, just one of many things Marcus couldn't afford to replace since losing his wife to cancer 2 years ago. "We're almost there, buddy," Marcus whispered, though Elijah couldn't hear him. The boy had fallen asleep during the 3-hour drive from their small apartment in the city to this exclusive neighborhood where houses looked like something from a magazine. The GPS announced their arrival at Westlake Estates, a gated community where the average home cost more than Marcus would earn in 20 years at his current job. He pulled up to the security booth, heart pounding. "Can I help you?" The guard was young, maybe mid-20s, with a crisp uniform and suspicious eyes. "I have an appointment with Mr. Harrington at 10:30, Marcus said, trying to keep his voice steady. "My name is Marcus Johnson." The guard checked his tablet. "I don't see your name on the approved visitor list, sir. There must be some mistake. I received this letter." Marcus handed over the envelope he'd been carrying like a talisman for weeks. Inside was a letter from William Harrington, CEO of Harrington Technologies, agreeing to meet with him about his late wife's invention. The guard barely glanced at it. "Anyone could print something like this. Without your name on my list, I can't let you in." "Please," Marcus said, desperation creeping into his voice. "My wife worked for Harrington Technologies for 8 years. She developed a medical device before she died. Mr. Harrington agreed to review it." "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to turn around." In the back seat, Elijah stirred. "Daddy? Are we there?" Marcus felt his throat tighten. This meeting was everything. Their rent was 2 months behind, and Elijah needed specialized care for his developing asthma. The medical device his wife had created could help thousands of children like Elijah, if only someone would listen. "Just one phone call," Marcus pleaded. "Call Mr. Harrington's office. Please." The guard sighed but picked up his phone. After a brief conversation, his expression changed. "Wait here," he said, stepping away to speak privately on his radio. Minutes later, a second security vehicle pulled up. A man in a suit emerged, the head of security, according to his badge. "Mr. Johnson, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the premises immediately." "But I have an appointment." "Sir, we've been instructed to remove you if necessary." The man's hand moved to rest on his taser. Marcus felt the world closing in. Everything, the medical bills, the eviction notice, Elijah's future, all of it depended on this meeting. He looked back at his son, now fully awake and watching with wide, frightened eyes. "Daddy? Why are they mad at you?" Something broke inside Marcus. Not anger, but determination. He reached for his phone and dialed the number from the letterhead. "Harrington Technologies, how may I direct your call?" "This is Marcus Johnson. I have an appointment with Mr. Harrington regarding my late wife's medical device patent. I'm at the gate, and security won't let me in." There was a pause. "One moment, Mr. Johnson." The security guards exchanged glances as Marcus waited on hold. Then a new voice came on the line. "This is William Harrington. Where exactly are you, Mr. Johnson?" "At your front gate, sir. With my son." What happened next would later be described by witnesses as a corporate earthquake. Within minutes, a sleek black car came speeding down the private road toward the gate. It screeched to a halt, and William Harrington himself, a man whose face appeared regularly in business magazines, stepped out. "Mr. Johnson," he called, approaching the gate. "I've been waiting for you." The security guards froze. "Sir," the head of security began, "we were told." "By whom?" Harrington demanded. "I personally arranged this meeting weeks ago." As it turned out, someone within Harrington Technologies had deliberately removed Marcus's name from the visitor list. The same person had been intercepting communications between Marcus and the company for months, all to prevent the review of Sarah Johnson's medical device patent. Within the hour, Marcus and Elijah were seated in William Harrington's home office. The prototype of Sarah's device, a pediatric nebulizer that delivered medication more effectively while collecting vital data, sat on the desk between them. "Your wife was brilliant," Harrington said, examining the device. "We received her initial proposal shortly before her illness. I never saw the follow-up until your letter arrived directly at my home. She worked on it until the end," Marcus said quietly. "She wanted to help children like Elijah." Elijah, now comfortable enough to explore the massive office, was examining a model airplane on a shelf. "Be careful with that, buddy," Marcus called. "It's quite all right," Harrington said. "I have a grandson about his age." He turned back to Marcus. "I want to be clear about something. This device isn't just good, it's revolutionary. The potential to help children with respiratory conditions is enormous." Marcus felt hope rising for the first time in years. "So you're interested in developing it?" "More than interested. I want to fast-track it. And I want to offer you a position overseeing the project." Marcus couldn't speak. After 2 years of doors closing in his face, of watching his wife's legacy gather dust while he struggled to keep a roof over their heads, this moment seemed unreal. "Why?" he finally managed. Harrington's expression softened. "Because Sarah was one of our most promising engineers before she left to start a family. Because this device could save lives. And because I recognize determination when I see it." By evening, the story of what had happened at the gate had spread throughout Harrington Technologies. An internal investigation revealed that Sarah's former supervisor, James Calloway, had been suppressing her work. He'd planned to modify her designs just enough to claim them as his own. The security company that had threatened Marcus was immediately terminated. Every guard who had been present was let go. Calloway and 3 executives who had been complicit in the scheme were fired by day's end. But for Marcus and Elijah, it was just the beginning. 6 months later, Sarah's nebulizer entered clinical trials. Marcus moved with Elijah to a modest home near Harrington Technologies headquarters, where he now led a team developing additional pediatric medical devices. On weekends, Elijah often played with William Harrington's grandson. The 2 boys had become inseparable friends, running through the same gates that had once nearly kept Marcus from changing their lives. One evening, as Marcus watched the boys playing in the backyard of his new home, William Harrington stopped by. "I've been meaning to ask you something," the older man said. "Why didn't you give up that day at the gate? Most people would have." Marcus watched his son laughing, his breathing clear and strong thanks to the prototype device Sarah had created. "Because Sarah never gave up," he said simply. "Not on her work, not on our son, not even when she knew she was dying. The least I could do was show the same courage." Harrington nodded. "Your wife's device will help thousands of children. But what you did that day, showing your son what it means to stand up for what's right, that might be her greatest legacy." The story of Marcus Johnson isn't just about a medical device or corporate wrongdoing. It's about the extraordinary lengths parents will go to honor promises, protect their children, and make the world better. Sometimes, the greatest acts of courage happen not on battlefields or in boardrooms, but at gates that seem determined to keep us out. When life puts barriers in your path, remember Marcus standing at that gate, tired, afraid, but unwilling to turn away. Sometimes, 17 minutes of courage is all it takes to change everything. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring true stories that remind us of the power of perseverance and the difference one determined person can make.